Sayvon Foster. I am an assistant professor of sport management. I'm also the founder and director of the HSES Research Lab, which is the Sport Experience at Special Mission Institutions Research Lab. So I've been at KU, I started in fall 2022, so I'm wrapping up my second year. But I've been a fan of KU ever since their 2008 run. That's kind of been my unspoken connection to the university, that I've been following KU for quite a while. Outside of my already existing fandom, the big part was just more so the culture of the program, the culture of the campus. I've bounced around, whether it's working at higher ed or just going to different universities, and as a recruiter, I started to learn a lot more about different campuses and things like that, and I got to learn a little bit more about the culture of KU, the culture of the program. They do a great job of presenting themselves on social media, so when the opportunity came in to apply for the faculty position, I just went ahead and went after it. The biggest thing is just the growth of the university. You know, they're at a point, I think they had the largest freshman class that they've had in quite a while, and just the growth of the program. We just started the NIL certificate, and I got to create a class for that. So there's just a lot of different things happening right now at KU to where, I can be a part of a established university, an established program that's still looking for ways to kind of move and develop, and it's great to just be a part of it. A lot of it really just came from, I went to an HBCU in undergrad, and while I was there, being a sport management major, I had the unique experience of also being at RA. So I got to work with the athletes as their RA, but then also work with the athletes as a member of the athletic staff. So I did facility and game day operations, so I'm there for practices, for games, the prep before, the shutdown after. So being able to see both of those areas, I want to learn more about college athletics, and as I learned more and got to experience more, I realized that there wasn't a lot of information about college athletes and about college athletics, and it's I can definitely contribute to this. And I had a great advisor and program coordinator undergrad, and he actually made me want to be a professor when I realized that you can do research and be a professor and do all of these things. It's oh, this is perfect. And that's kind of been the goal ever since. Oh, definitely the students. In undergrad, I went to a small HBCU in North Carolina, Winston-Salem State. They were a campus of under 5,000. I still talk about the relationship I had with my program coordinator, and that just drives me with everything. And it's the same thing when I was an admissions counselor. I was very personable, very hands-on. I have great relationships with a lot of the students that I recruited, that I stayed in contact with. So being able to get up every day, positively impact the students, positively impact the field of sport through research and teaching and everything else, that's my motivation. So right now I'm teaching Introduction to Sport Management. This has been my third time teaching it, either fall or spring. I've taught it a couple times over the summer, and my recently developed content creation and sport class. So I'm in the first semester teaching it, so all my students know that they're my guinea pigs, but I've been enjoying the class. We're actually in the point now where we're actually creating and pushing out content, and it's a great content. Students are doing a good job, so very excited for them and for my classes. I am a sports sociologist that focuses on college athletics. So right now I'm working on a project looking at the state of HBCU research and sport management. So I'm doing a 30-year review of the work that's already been published, just seeing what information's out there, how's that impacted our understanding. I'm also currently working on two additional projects. The first one is looking at the recruitment experiences of athletes. How is a campus positioned before they got there? What's their experiences while they're on campus? Just looking at that consistency. And it actually came from one of my former students. They're like, yeah, when I came to the university, I didn't know that it snowed because all the pictures I saw were in the springtime. So just something very funny like that. It made me wonder, what else, do people know or not know when it comes to the university? And then the last one, I'm looking at third spaces for college athletes. So outside of athletics, outside of academics, where do they go? Who do they hang with? Where they spend time and build community? So, just trying to find ways to illuminate our understanding, expand our understanding when it comes to college athletics from a couple different areas. I did my undergrad in sport management at Winston-Salem State. I did my master's at University of Pittsburgh, which was in higher education, and I finished my PhD at Texas A&M with a PhD in sport management and a concentration in higher education. My hometown, I am born and raised Columbus, Ohio. I am an unofficial Buckeye. I was born at OSU Hospital, so the hospital connected to campus. I was actually delivered by some nursing students. So I'm an unofficial Buckeye. Not everyone can say that, but I'm happy I can. Outside of, teaching and, watching sports and everything, when I have free time, I'm either fishing or I'm sneaking food into the movie theater with my fiance. That's our tradition. We'll go every Marvel and DC movie that comes out. We'll find some restaurant where we can sneak some food in, and we'll go to a movie theater and we'll sneak food in. So I'm probably just expose myself, but yeah, that's our hobby. Probably one of my top interesting facts during COVID. This is peak, mask on, everything like that. I spotted an NBA player walking into the restaurant I worked in at the time. I was manager of a restaurant. I spotted him, not by the height or by anything, by one tattoo he had on his forearm. And he gave me so much kudos for that. We went, took a picture and everything in the middle of the restaurant. And since then, he even retweeted the picture when I posted it on Instagram. Well, not retweeted, but he reposted the picture on his story on Instagram. So that's my little fun fact. Rashard Lewis. Yeah, so yeah, I saw him and he gave his last name. He didn't say his first name. And I'm like, are you Rashard Lewis? He's like, no, I'm his twin brother. I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, how did you know it was me? I'm like, oh, bro, I recognize the tattoo. And, we talked about, his game against the Celtics when he almost had a 40-piece against us when he played for the Magic. I'm like, man, one of my favorite players, but I've never forgiven you for that moment. And he's like, hey, man, it's all part of the game. But, had a great experience, interacting with him.